What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and today I'm going to be covering my Darklord deck that I played in that one replay a few weeks ago, or days ago, or whenever that was. And I'll leave the link to that video somewhere in this video. But anyway, I'm just because I saw someone in the comment section. Shout out to you, by the way, who wanted to see the deck list for it. So this is what it is. It's 2 Maxi, 2 Ash Blossom, 2 Darklord Zerato, 3 Suburbia, 2 Nurgle, 2 Catalpoca, 3 X Shells, 1 Morningstar is my one of. We got 2 Nibiru, 3 Trade-in, 3 Allure, Banishment, 3 Banishment, 3 Dark Lord Contact, 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Twin Twister, 3 of the Raigeki Break of the Archetype Rebellion, 1 of their copies that steal, 2 of theirs that negate monster effects, and 1 of this. The extra deck is not complete. We got 1 First of the Dark Lord here. We got 1 Dante. Dante's never made. Neither is Utopia, Dweller, Tornado Dragon, Utopia the Lightning. This was made in early stages of the deck when I played the little ones. Now I don't play those. I'm considering playing the little ones again, but room is really hard to find in this game since you need to play Nibiru and these hand traps. 2 of this I would play more, but I'm in platinum now, and this deck really unfortunately cannot compete with the platinum decks. I'm in like mid plat now. But yeah, this definitely will, if you're in gold and you just want to play Dark Lords and stuff like that, and all that, this card is a very, very good 3 of. We got 2 IP Masquerena. This card was made a few times as well. So was Boral Sword. Warlord was not. Sorry, Yuja. Very good. It's a good card, but I never made it. I made Applepalooza, I think, once while playing this deck, and that was it. And then 1 copy of Unchained Abomination. Now, I have Arklord Christie over here because you should be playing this, but I didn't have the ultra rare tokens at the time when I was building this deck, as all of them pretty much went to well, I didn't have any actually. I managed to pull this. And but this deck require I guess I used them on Suburbia. But anyway, I digress. If you want to play Dark Lords and you want to play a better version, I definitely suggest playing Christia. However, I'm going to tell you some of the pros and cons of this deck before we end the deck profile to not give anyone the wrong idea. The Dark Lords, the strength of them is that they have a lot of draw power between Ixchel, Trade-in, Allure of Darkness. You can draw a bunch of cards. That's great. Second thing that's really, really good about them is none of their trap cards target. Okay, so this card that destroys a card, it doesn't target. Neither does this card that steals a monster, and you can use this not only to steal a monster, but also kind of like as a battle fader, kind of to stop them from being able to attack over your over your monsters if you need to. I still a Chaos Max with this one. The Sanctified Dark Lord is a good way to negate monster effects, as this can also out Chaos Max, since there's a lot of Blue Eyes players in gold. So if you are worried about the Blue Eyes matchup for some reason, even though Blue Eyes is not the hardest deck to beat, this deck actually does have a lot of outs to what they play. So that's a that's a plus of this deck. And then we also got Uprising. Uprising is like a one of because I just like it. In a more competitive build, you probably wouldn't play Uprising, and you probably could cut Morningstar. But I just really like the first Dark Lord. I think it's a really cool card. And yeah. So the pluses of the deck is none of the trap cards target, and the deck has a lot of draw power, and the monsters are pretty big. It's not too hard to OTK, but you might have to overextend a little bit to like really push for game. Why I don't really OTK that much in this deck is because a lot of times you have to play through back row and stuff like that. All right, so here's the downsides of the deck. Well, while the deck has a lot of draw power, it still bricks a lot. You want to see your traps, kind of. So it's really weird, the dichotomy between your trap cards, because they're all very powerful, right? They're all very powerful trap cards, but you don't really want to be activating them on the field because their downsides, their cost of it is so heavy that it's not really worth it. The monsters themselves uh, only copy the effects of the trap cards, so you don't have to pay the cost. So it's better to get them into the graveyard. So you could probably play Foolish Burial of Goods, but it's not really needed in my personal opinion. That's just gonna lead to more bricks and all that. So this deck does quite brick a lot, even though it has 9 draw cards in the deck, especially because Ixchel is a hard once per turn. Another note is that this deck is very susceptible to getting Ash Blossom because of all the draw power. And because of how tight the deck list kind of is, uh, it's really, really like awkward. It's hard to work in cards if you want to keep it a 40 card deck. And making it over 40 cards just really, really is going to hinder the consistency even more, which kind of sucks. That's just where it's at and everything. How are its matchups though? Well, in gold, where I've mainly played this deck, and then I got the platinum, and then I played Paleo Frogs, got the platinum, and now I'm climbing. Funny enough, not with Paleo Frogs, but with spellbooks. um, but it's funny that this deck, the matchups in gold aren't even that great either. So Blue Eyes is a decent matchup. Red Eyes is a good matchup. Another decent matchup, but I haven't seen too much of is I haven't seen too much of Red Eyes, but I have faced it before and all that. And this deck kind of was like ran it over. Another good matchup is those are pretty much the good matchups. The bad matchups is it's not very good against Tri Brigade. Although you might not see too many of those in gold, and if you do, it's because they're not very good at the deck. It's not very good against Drytron either, unless you draw Nibiru and you Nibiru them before they can make Apapalooza on you or anything like that. Same thing with Tri Brigade. It's not as good against it's Eldritch matchup depends on your draws, because as you see, we have the Lightning Storm and the Twin Twister, and the reason we have those is kind of to help fight Eldritch. The issue is that because Eldritch is so prominent in gold and an okay amount in platinum as well, the problem is that Nibiru and Max C are pretty much dead against those decks. But also the fact is that if you don't run Nibiru Max C, you're gonna run into these combo decks and you're just gonna get like ran over, and that's a problem with Best of One. But that's a whole nother topic. Eldritch is a weird matchup because, like I said, it depends on what you draw. You have not only your spell and trap removal, you have Darklord Rebellion to help you get rid of the problematic floodgates. So if they flip vanities on you, you can actually you can 2-for-1 them with, well, 2-for-2 them, I should say, with Darklord Rebellion. So you have outs to that. Summon limit doesn't hurt you that much. Skill drain, your monsters are big, but they're not big enough to get over Eldritch, the Eldritch Lord if it has the 3,500 attack points. So that's a problem. Plus, they can always destroy your monsters, stuff like that. Summon limit's not an issue. A lot of their floodgates don't really matter except for vanities, and what's it called? The Imperial Order are very annoying to play around. You can do it, but it's not a great fun time. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday. If you want to send me any cool deck profiles, for Master Duel, you can send me the deck list and maybe a screenshot to our email, JankyYGO@gmail.com. If you want to send me any cool replays, you can send them to that as well using for Edo Pro or anything like that. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful day.